Most people think apocalypse mansions are built for luxury during disasters and collapse, but the richest owners in the world rarely build them for comfort alone. They build them because extreme wealth slowly changes human psychology completely. The richer people become, the less permanent ordinary civilization starts feeling emotionally. Normal people spend their lives adapting themselves to unstable systems publicly. The ultra-rich spend their lives trying to escape unstable systems entirely. And eventually, luxury stops meaning beautiful houses and expensive decorations emotionally. It becomes control over survival, isolation, and uncertainty itself. That transformation quietly created one of the strangest luxury industries on Earth. The rise of apocalypse mansions hidden around the world. These are not ordinary billionaire homes designed for social attention publicly. They are private worlds built to survive the collapse of society itself. At level 1, people begin preparing emotionally for uncertainty and instability privately. This level belongs to wealthy professionals and survival-focused millionaires. Backup generators, hidden panic rooms, water storage, and emergency systems appear. The mansion still looks normal from the outside publicly, but psychologically something important already changed inside the owner emotionally. They no longer fully trust the stability of ordinary society, because modern culture constantly feeds fear through news and internet exposure globally. Wars, pandemics, cyber attacks, and economic collapse dominate headlines. And eventually, wealthy people stop seeing preparation as irrational emotionally anymore. It starts feeling intelligent and responsible psychologically, so the luxury home slowly transforms into survival infrastructure privately and subtly. A hidden safety system disguised as ordinary wealth. At level 2, luxury fully enters apocalypse mansion culture, emotionally and architecturally. Now survival itself becomes surrounded by elite comfort and aesthetics. Underground pools, private medical rooms, luxury cinemas, and hidden vaults appear. The mansion begins functioning like a self-contained private resort, because the ultra-rich refuse to imagine survival without luxury psychologically anymore. Even fear becomes designed beautifully for elites. And this reveals something fascinating about modern wealth culture emotionally. The rich no longer buy objects alone. They buy controlled environments, separated from ordinary public reality completely. Places where uncertainty cannot emotionally reach them. The mansion becomes less about status and more about emotional insulation privately. A protected world disconnected from chaos outside. At level 3, apocalypse mansions become hidden compounds for elite families privately. This is where isolation starts becoming permanent psychologically. Massive estates appear far away from crowded cities and public visibility entirely. Private forests, farmland, lakes, and energy systems surround the property. Because the richer people become, the less emotionally safe cities start feeling. Crowds slowly begin representing unpredictability and risk psychologically. And eventually the wealthy stop wanting access to society publicly altogether. They begin wanting distance from society instead. That's why modern billionaire compounds increasingly resemble private nations emotionally. Everything needed for life exists inside the estate. Private security, food systems, medical facilities, and communication networks appear. The mansion becomes a controlled reality hidden from ordinary civilization. At level 4, fear becomes global instead of personal psychologically and politically. This is where billionaires begin preparing for large-scale societal collapse. Pandemics, economic crashes, cyber warfare, political unrest, and resource shortages dominate thinking. The ultra-rich begin planning decades ahead privately, so apocalypse mansions become technologically advanced survival ecosystems completely. Solar farms, underground bunkers, water purification, and armored systems emerge. Some estates can function independently from society for years privately underground, because survival itself slowly becomes the ultimate luxury for elites. And psychologically, this changes how owners view ordinary life permanently over time. Public systems begin feeling fragile and emotionally unreliable. The mansion slowly becomes emotionally safer than the outside world itself, privately. A perfectly controlled environment beyond uncertainty. At level 5, apocalypse mansions stop functioning like homes entirely anymore publicly. They begin functioning like private fortified kingdoms. Hidden tunnels, military-grade security, armored walls, and surveillance systems appear. The estate feels more like infrastructure than architecture emotionally. The owners at this level are not ordinary wealthy people psychologically anymore. They are billionaires, political elites, and generational dynasties. Because extreme wealth eventually creates extreme fear about losing control completely, and control becomes emotionally addictive over time. At this level, secrecy becomes more valuable than visible luxury publicly and socially. The richest compounds are often completely invisible online. No tours, interviews, or social media content exist around these estates publicly, because real power rarely wants attention anymore. And invisibility became one of the rarest luxuries on Earth psychologically, especially in a world obsessed with constant visibility online. At level 6, apocalypse mansions become emotionally detached from normal humanity completely. Artificial intelligence and autonomous systems begin controlling daily life. The mansion no longer simply protects the owner from external danger physically. It controls every aspect of the environment internally. Air quality, food systems, surveillance, temperature, and movement become automated completely. The estate feels more controlled than modern cities themselves. And eventually, owners begin preferring that controlled environment emotionally and psychologically. Because ordinary society starts feeling chaotic and exhausting, the apocalypse mansion becomes a machine designed to eliminate unpredictability entirely. A private reality disconnected from unstable civilization. At this level, luxury transforms into something much darker emotionally and psychologically. Not comfort, but complete control over human experience itself. At level 7, apocalypse mansions stop functioning like survival estates entirely anymore. They become replacement civilizations for the ultra-rich. This is the world of hidden billionaire territories and continuity compounds globally. Places designed not just to survive collapse, but to outlive modern society itself completely if necessary, privately underground. Private civilizations hidden beyond ordinary public reality. The owners no longer trust civilization emotionally or politically anymore publicly. So they quietly begin building alternatives separated from it. And maybe that explains apocalypse mansion culture better than anything psychologically. The ultra-rich are not preparing for luxury. They are preparing for separation from humanity itself emotionally and structurally. Because eventually wealth stops trying to experience society and starts trying to escape society permanently, instead privately and psychologically. That may be the darkest truth about extreme wealth. Most people think apocalypse mansions are about fear of disasters publicly and socially, but the deeper truth is far more psychological. They represent fear of losing control over reality completely and permanently. And powerful people fear losing control more than anything. That's why billionaire compounds became hidden worlds, separated from ordinary civilization privately. Invisible kingdoms designed for uncertainty and collapse. And maybe the strangest part is how emotionally normal this became for elites, preparing to abandon society quietly if necessary. Because eventually the richest people stop building bigger homes above ground publicly and start building safer worlds hidden away from civilization instead. A private kingdom designed to survive the collapse of ordinary society completely, far away from crowds, instability, and the unpredictable modern world.